Have you ever found yourself in a heated argument, saying things you later regret? Or worse, have you ever won the argument but lost the respect of those around you? Most people think that winning an argument is about proving the other person wrong. But the Stoics knew better. True victory is not about defeating others, it's about mastering yourself. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This is the key to winning every argument. Not through anger, not through force, but through wisdom, patience, and control. Today, I'll show you how to argue the Stoic way. A way that leaves you victorious, not just in debate, but in life. Stay with me until the end, and you'll never argue the same way again. Lesson 1. Master your emotions. Have you ever lost your temper in an argument, only to realize later that your emotions got the best of you? The truth is, when you let anger take over, you've already lost. It doesn't matter how strong your argument is, if you lose control, you lose credibility. The Stoics understood this well. That's why they trained themselves to respond, not react. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." Think about it, who do you respect more? Someone who explodes in anger, or someone who remains composed under pressure? When you lose control of your emotions, you give your opponent the advantage. They can easily manipulate you, push your buttons, and make you say things you'll regret. But when you remain calm, you force them to argue with logic, not emotion. And that's how you win. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The next time someone provokes you, pause. Take a deep breath. Count to 3. Remind yourself, this is just a test of my self-control. That simple pause allows your rational mind to take over instead of letting emotions dictate your response. Imagine being in a heated discussion and someone insults you. Your first instinct might be to fire back. But instead, you pause. You let them expose their own weaknesses while you stay composed. That silence alone can be more powerful than any argument. Instead of reacting emotionally, try asking questions. If someone makes an outrageous claim, don't rush to correct them. Instead, calmly ask, "What makes you think that?" or "Can you explain your reasoning?" This does 2 things. First, it forces them to think critically instead of just arguing emotionally. Second, it puts you in control of the conversation. When you ask instead of attack, you shift the power dynamic. You remain calm, while they struggle to defend their position. The Stoics practiced something called premeditatio malorum, the visualization of worst-case scenarios. Before entering an argument, prepare yourself. What if they insult me? What if they mock my beliefs? What if they try to provoke me? By anticipating these challenges, you become immune to them. Nothing catches you off guard. You stay calm because you've already prepared for the worst. Winning an argument isn't about having the loudest voice. It's about having the strongest mind. Master your emotions, and you master the argument. The next time you find yourself in a debate, pause, breathe, and respond with wisdom. Do this, and you'll not only win the argument, you'll earn respect. Lesson 2. Silence is a weapon. Most people believe that winning an argument means talking more, proving their point, outsmarting their opponent, and dominating the conversation. But the Stoics knew the truth. Sometimes, the most powerful response is silence. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, once said, "Better to trip with the feet than with the tongue." In other words, speaking without control is more dangerous than making a physical mistake. Words, once spoken, cannot be taken back. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. It forces the other person to reveal more about themselves while you remain unshaken. It gives you time to think, to analyze, and to respond with wisdom instead of emotion. Have you ever seen someone talk themselves into a corner? The more they speak, the more they reveal their insecurities, contradictions, and lack of reasoning. The Stoics understood that when you stay silent, you allow others to expose their own weaknesses. Imagine you're in a debate, and your opponent starts becoming emotional, rambling, or making baseless accusations. Most people feel the urge to interrupt, to correct them immediately. But a Stoic knows better. Instead, you stay silent. You listen. You let them continue digging their own hole. This technique is especially effective against aggressive or manipulative people. When they realize you're not reacting, they grow frustrated. They expect a fight, but you give them nothing. And in that moment, they lose control while you remain in complete command. Think about the people you admire. Are they the ones who speak impulsively, arguing over every small detail? Or are they the ones who choose their words carefully, speaking only when necessary? A person who speaks less but with precision commands far more respect than someone who speaks endlessly. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, advised, "Let your words be few and well considered." When you speak less, people listen more. Your words carry weight because they are rare and meaningful. Silence makes others curious, forces them to pay attention, and ensures that when you finally speak, your words matter. One of the simplest yet most effective Stoic techniques is pausing before speaking. In any argument or conversation, take a moment of silence before responding. This brief pause gives you time to think, to assess the situation, and to ensure that your words serve a purpose. When you pause, you project confidence. You show that you are not controlled by impulse. You make the other person wait, and in that waiting, they become uncertain. They start to question themselves, wondering what you are thinking. A well-timed pause is often more powerful than any long-winded explanation. It signals that you are in control, not just of the conversation, but of yourself. Silence is not passive. It is an active tool of strength and strategy. It exposes the weaknesses of others, commands respect, and gives you complete control over any argument. The next time someone tries to provoke you, resist the urge to respond immediately. Instead, pause. Stay silent. Let them reveal more than they intend. Then, when the time is right, respond with calm precision. Master silence, and you will master every conversation. Lesson 3. Ask the right questions. Most people enter an argument with the wrong mindset. They focus on proving they are right instead of truly understanding the other person's perspective. The Stoics knew a better way. Instead of reacting emotionally or trying to overpower someone with words, they asked the right questions. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Asking questions forces the other person to think critically, while also allowing you to control the conversation without appearing aggressive. When you argue with someone who is emotional, defensive, or set in their ways, direct confrontation only makes them dig in deeper. But when you ask a question, you make them pause. You disrupt their automatic response and force them to think. Imagine someone makes a bold and possibly false statement. Instead of immediately correcting them, ask, "What makes you believe that?" This simple question shifts the focus away from conflict and onto reasoning. If their argument is weak, they will struggle to justify it. If they have a valid point, you give them the space to explain it, making the discussion more constructive. Asking the right questions also helps expose logical flaws without attacking the other person. Instead of saying "that's wrong," which triggers defensiveness, try "how did you come to that conclusion?" This invites them to reflect on their own reasoning rather than defending their pride. A good question makes people realize their own contradictions without you having to tell them directly. Let them reach the conclusion on their own. That's far more powerful than simply proving them wrong. Another powerful question is there another way to look at this? This encourages open-mindedness. Most people argue because they believe their perspective is the only valid one. By asking them to consider alternatives, you gently guide them towards seeing the bigger picture. Marcus Aurelius advised, "If someone can prove me wrong, I will gladly change, for I seek the truth." This is the mindset of a true Stoic. You don't ask questions to trick or manipulate someone, you ask because you genuinely want to uncover the truth. When you enter an argument with curiosity rather than arrogance, people are more likely to respect you. They don't feel attacked. They feel heard. And when people feel heard, they are more willing to listen. Another useful approach is to ask hypothetical questions. Suppose someone is being stubborn about an issue. You can ask, "What would change your mind?" This forces them to consider the possibility that they might be wrong, something they may not have thought about before. The key to asking great questions is your tone. If you ask in a condescending way, it won't work. The goal is to be genuinely curious, not sarcastic or judgmental. People can sense your intentions, so approach every conversation with sincerity. Asking questions also buys you time. If you're in a difficult debate and need a moment to think, responding with a question instead of an argument gives you space to gather your thoughts. It also keeps the other person engaged, making them do most of the talking. The next time you find yourself in a debate, don't rush to prove your point. Instead, ask a thoughtful question. Let the other person explain themselves. Guide them toward deeper reflection. Mastering this technique will not only make you more persuasive, but also more respected. The strongest debaters are not those who speak the most, but those who listen the best. Lesson 4. Never seek to win, seek the truth. Most people enter an argument with one goal: to win. They want to prove they are right, to defeat the other person, and to come out on top. But the Stoics had a different approach. They understood that the goal of a debate should never be victory, it should be truth. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake, I will gladly change, for I seek the truth." This is the mindset of a wise person. Winning an argument means nothing if you remain ignorant. But learning something new? That is true success. Imagine two people arguing. One is focused on proving they are right. The other is focused on finding the truth. Who do you think will grow and improve? The one who listens, who considers different perspectives, who is willing to admit when they are wrong. The biggest mistake in debates is treating them like battles. When you argue just to win, your ego takes over. You stop listening. You reject valid points just because they come from the other person. You focus on attacking rather than understanding. And in the end, even if you win, what have you gained? You fed your pride, but you've learned nothing. A Stoic, however, approaches arguments differently. They ask themselves, "What if I am wrong?" They enter discussions not to dominate but to grow. They are not attached to their opinions. They are attached to truth. When you stop arguing to win, something amazing happens. You become calmer. You stop feeling defensive. You listen more. Instead of waiting for your turn to speak, you actually hear what the other person is saying. And because you are open-minded, people respect you more. They see you as wise, not stubborn. This does not mean you should be weak in a debate. It does not mean you should accept falsehoods. But it does mean that your goal should always be greater understanding, not just proving a point. When you hear something that challenges your beliefs, don't react with resistance. Instead, ask yourself, could this be true? Seneca once said, "What is the point of having learned so much if you refuse to learn more?" No matter how much you know, there is always more to discover. Even if someone is wrong, they may still offer a perspective that helps you see things differently. When you prioritize truth over victory, you become unstoppable. You are never defeated because every discussion becomes a lesson. If you are right, you reinforce your understanding. If you are wrong, you gain new knowledge. Either way, you grow. The next time you find yourself in an argument, take a step back. Ask yourself, am I trying to win or am I trying to learn? Choose truth over ego. Seek understanding over dominance. When you do this, you won't just win debates, you will win in life. Lesson 5. Control what you can, let go of the rest. One of the most powerful lessons we can learn in life is understanding the difference between what we can control and what we cannot. In many situations, particularly in arguments or debates, we often expend unnecessary energy trying to control things that are beyond our influence. The Stoics, however, taught us to focus only on what we can control and to let go of the rest. Epictetus famously said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." This simple yet profound idea forms the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. The key is to focus on your own actions, thoughts, and responses rather than trying to control the outcome or manipulate others. In an argument, you cannot control the other person's thoughts, emotions, or reactions. You can't make them agree with you, and you certainly can't control their attitude or behavior. What you can control is how you respond to them. You can choose to stay calm, listen carefully, and reply thoughtfully. When you focus on controlling your own responses, you regain power in the conversation. The Stoics understood that trying to control everything outside of ourselves is an exercise in frustration. We can't control the weather, the opinions of others, or even many of the events that happen to us. But we can control how we prepare for and react to these things. This is where true freedom lies. For example, in a heated discussion, your natural impulse might be to raise your voice, interrupt, or become defensive. However, by pausing and recognizing that you can control how you respond, you gain the upper hand. You can choose to remain calm, to listen more than you speak, and to respond with reason and empathy. The same principle applies to situations outside of arguments. Life is full of unpredictable events, job changes, family challenges, or health concerns. We can't control these events, but we can control how we deal with them. Instead of stressing over things outside your control, focus on what you can change: your attitude, your effort, and your mindset. By focusing on controlling only what is within your power, you shift your energy from frustration to empowerment. You stop wasting mental and emotional resources on things that don't matter and instead invest in areas where you can truly make a difference. For instance, imagine a situation where you're stuck in traffic and running late for an important meeting. You can't control the traffic, but you can control how you react to it. You can choose to get frustrated, which will only make the situation worse, or you can accept it and focus on remaining calm, thinking of possible solutions, or making the best of the time you have. This Stoic approach allows you to conserve energy, maintain your peace of mind, and become more resilient in the face of challenges. You stop trying to force things to happen and instead focus on making the most of the circumstances as they are. At the core of this lesson is the realization that we are not helpless in the face of adversity. We have control over our thoughts, our actions, and our responses. When we let go of the need to control everything, we open ourselves to greater peace, acceptance, and wisdom. So, the next time you're in a difficult situation or argument, ask yourself, what can I control here? Focus on that, and let go of everything else. When you do this, you will not only find more peace but also become more effective in navigating the challenges life throws your way. Conclusion. As we've explored today, the Stoic way of handling arguments isn't about winning or proving someone wrong. It's about mastering yourself, controlling your emotions, asking the right questions, and ultimately seeking the truth over ego. These timeless lessons give you the tools to navigate any disagreement with wisdom, patience, and strength. Now, it's your turn. The next time you find yourself in an argument, pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I trying to win or am I trying to understand? Focus on what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, your responses, and let go of everything else. If you approach every conversation with this mindset, you will not only handle disputes better, but you'll also earn the respect of others. Remember, true strength lies in control, not in domination. So go ahead, embrace the Stoic way, and let it transform the way you approach every argument, every conversation, and every challenge in your life.